fighting for my right for health care and fighting for my right to be able to control my own body, because if we don't fight for ourselves, then who will? They aren't going to let us be able to control our own bodies until we don't give them a choice. So let's get out there and let's take away their choice for a change.
My body, my choice! My body, my choice! My body, my choice! Women must decide their fate, not the church, not the state. Women must decide their fate, not the church, not the state. Women must decide their fate.
I'm Lindy. I was a volunteer and also worked with NARAL Pro-Choice Missouri, which is now Pro-Choice Missouri. And I'm also in grad school at the University of Pennsylvania, getting a public policy degree so that I can continue this important reproductive freedom work. NARAL basically works for abortion justice and lobbying for reproductive freedom, which is the ability to choose if, when, how, where, and with who to raise a kid with dignity. In Missouri, a lot of times NARAL works with local advocates. They work together. They put on programming, virtual information about sex ed, and they work to do phone banks for pro-choice candidates and get the word out about pro-choice candidates. Because if you're in Missouri, you're fighting tooth and nail for legal abortion, right? And to stay an accessible abortion. So the history of every single women's liberation is white supremacy and white feminism, which is not a great way to open stuff up, but is true. So a lot of things like NARAL, Planned Parenthood, a lot of that's rooted in white supremacy and racism. I would say now that the movement is trying its best to own up to that history. There's a lot more intersectionality within the reproductive freedom movement. So in 1967, a bunch of people decide to create crisis pregnancy centers. So what they are is pregnancy care centers, which guise themselves as abortion clinics through deceptive language online, and basically so that they can get as many people in the door that they can who are thinking of an abortion or who have a crisis pregnancy and unplanned pregnancy, to convince them to carry the pregnancy to term. They don't offer any abortion referrals, none of them do. Most of them are linked to very Catholic organizations like Heartbeat International. The majority of them don't have trained medical professionals on staff, they're all volunteers. I like to look at them as a service that could actually be really useful if they weren't so anti-abortion, because they're here on this planet to dissuade people from getting an abortion. The biggest goal is making abortion and reproductive and other sexual health care accessible. So I'm passionate about it because it affects me and it affects a lot of people I love, and it affects the entirety of our world, right? If you don't have reproductive justice, choices, access, then what you're gonna end up with is, 40 million kids in poverty, horrifying treatment of people, lack of accessible healthcare, a maternal mortality rate that is above any other well-resourced, rich country. So I think providing a space in the community to talk and to educate other folks about, issues and stuff is really important. When I was there, I was just proud to be a part of it. The team is incredible. We do so much incredible stuff given the lack of, reproductive freedom-minded folks in Missouri.
I am here today because I think that for too long minority voices have been silenced, and in doing this, I as a woman and so many people of color here, so many non-binary people are here fighting for our rights. We hope to bring this knowledge and education into our colleges and our community following high school.
For sure.
Yeah.
The abortion law that is going on right now is something that is really archaic. People should have the right to make their own decisions for their bodies, and we are still having the same conversation over and over again.
I work on the campaigns of Trish Gunby and have worked with Alderman James Page, Mayor Tashara Jones, Treasurer Adam Lane, along with a couple other progressive elected officials and candidates as well. I want to make sure that everyone can have an abortion when they want one, when they need one, and also make sure that there's not any barriers to receiving other types of reproductive health care.
Hopefully we won't have to stand out in the streets with signs in 10 years. Hopefully everybody will have bodily autonomy.